under him, TCS was listed. Let me see if Shravan is there with me. Shravan, if you can hear me, I'm trying to come across to you. Shravan is in Mumbai, and in Mumbai, Ratan Tata, like he is, of course, across the country. Mumbai is very close to his heart. That's where he was living. That was his home. Shravan, if you can hear me, devastating news of his passing away at Mumbai's Breach Candy Hospital. Shravan.
Well, in fact, there is no doubt about the fact, Niranjan, that Ratan Tata today basically stands out as one of the most prominent business tycoon. And interestingly, there is a reason why they say that in a country with more than 140 crore people, Ratan Tata is perhaps seen as one of the most loved businessmen. The reason being, Niranjan, for almost every Indian, there isn't a day that goes by without perhaps spending some time with a Tata product. And that is exactly why many would say that Ratan Tata has revolutionized the line of business for the Tata Group. But let's not forget that, of course, with the kind of innovation that was brought in by his mentor as well as uncle J.R.D. Tata, from whom he had taken over, what's important to point out here is that he actually made the most during the liberalization period. Remember in 1991, when he basically took over, one of the major changes that he's essentially brought in was to diversify the line of business for the Tata Group. And that is the reason why many would say that he's time and again spoken about the risk factor. And he's always advocated the fact that risk perhaps is the only constant. And that's the reason why many would say that he's got the kind of business acumen that very few had. Very few had the kind of vision he had, and of course, the strong work ethics. The reason why many would say that he is also a businessman with a difference, because he's also been seen as a businessman who's a philanthropist, not to forget the kind of activities that he actually indulged after he had actually retired. Remember, this country actually has a pet hospital. It's also because of Ratan Tata. And there are several anecdotes that many of us who've been here in Mumbai have actually witnessed the kind of stories of Ratan Tata, of how he's reached out to several needy, to those who've come up with brilliant business ideas. If the idea of a startup, remember, has been given wings, it has been given by none other than Ratan Tata. So, of course, today as a nation, we've become poorer, losing a businessman who's had the vision. Years ago, remember, he's also ensured that not just that the product of the Tata business actually reaches almost every individual in this country. He's ensured that everyone enjoys in this country the fruits of liberalization. Remember when there was this automobile kind of revolution that was brought into our country, he had the revolutionary idea of the Tata Nano, which was again another idea which he believed is going to change the life of the middle class. And that is the reason why most of his ideas that he had brought in was something that stood out. During his own period, the tenure that he was looking at, remember the group's revenues actually grew manifold. It almost totaled to about $100 billion. This was just during the period of 2011 and 2012. Now, that is the time when the group actually saw the kind of acquisitions, luxury businesses that we have seen on your screens right now. The Land Rover acquisition that we're talking about, that was one such structural changes that he actually brought in. And there were several others that acquisition that was done by the Tata Group after he took over, particularly the Tetley acquisition that was roughly about $431 million, then the Chorus, and of course Jaguar Land Rover, which we just showed you images of the very time when the acquisition took place, which was roughly about $2.3 billion. So these are some daring moves under Ratan Tata's astute leadership, which essentially helped the Tata Group to expand the global footprint. So it is one of those groups. It is one of those groups which have essentially seen a massive diversification. I'm told that Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde, has actually reached Bridge Candy Hospital. In fact, I'm told that these are the latest images that are now coming in. We'll try and see if we can go across to Alisha, who's joining us live from outside the Bridge Candy Hospital, getting us the latest details. A nation which is mourning at this point in time. We've seen the kind of responses that have really come in. Let me see if Alisha can hear in while we go full frame with those images now coming in of the Chief Minister, who has just entered the Bridge Candy Hospital a short while back. Alisha, what more can you tell us? Well, I think so. We'll try and reconnect with Alisha in a short while from now. But these are the images coming in from outside Bridge Candy Hospital. Around 11:30 this evening is when business tycoon Ratan Tata passed away. A statement has now been issued by the Bridge Candy Hospital as well as the Tata Group a short while back. The statement that was made by the group. Remember, he was, in fact, the last communication that he has had with many of his followers was after news came in that he was rushed to the hospital, to which he had said that these are age-related issues that he was dealing with. And many would say that at that point in time, they heaved a sigh of relief. He's, after all, a businessman who's loved by all, especially with the way he has changed the life of many Indians. As I've been saying this right from the start, that there isn't a single Indian who perhaps has not dealt with a single Tata product. And that is the reason why many would say he's touched the lives of every Indian. The way he has essentially brought in the number of changes, a slew of changes that were brought into the Tata Group, the diversification that took place in the Tata Group, and Tata largely from being an Indian-centric company turned into a global business. I'm told Alisha is joining us right now. Alisha, if you can hear me, walk us through the details you're picking up from outside Bridge Candy Hospital, where I'm told that Chief Minister of Maharashtra,